This week on the Squatchers Lounge podcast, David and the Reverend Jeff take on another epic Bigfoot encounter. This time we'll be taking a look at the infamous Mono Lake Bigfoot footage. This little doozy's got everything going for it from a commentary aspect, which is what we do, right? Then the news. We do a lot of news, which is nice for content and whatnot. And now I hand it over to the man who actually prepared for this show somewhat, the Reverend Jeff Kelly.
That's right, people. We're going to talk about Bigfoot being caught on video at Mono Lake, California, coming right up on the Squatchers Lounge podcast. I'm your host, the Reverend Jeff. Y'all know me. I don't think I need to introduce myself anymore, but for you know folks, that's what they call me. Over to my left-hand side over here is back in the house, Dr. David Batdorf, pseudo-scientist. How you doing, buddy?
Flying by the seat of my pants as usual.
As usual, but like they say, I'm nothing without the Batdorf, and I think they're absolutely right. So we're going to start this sucker off with a little bit of the news, and I don't have the news plug up because Wes and I were working on a special project last night, and that's going to be coming up.
Evil project.
A little comedic value will be coming along here pretty soon for the Christmas season, actually before the Christmas evening. But now we're going to talk about the news and chimps found drinking booze in the wild. Now, I've talked about how my great uncle got sick and tired of the bears coming in and eating all the fermented apples down in the gully and hanging out around the farm drunk for 3 or 4 days. So this doesn't actually surprise me, but of course this is exactly what they're doing. They're finding fermented puddles of fruit droppings and they're sucking them down to get drunk. What?
The nectar of the gods.
Nectar of the gods.
Yeah, I have. It's not a far reach to, they know that there's actually some quote unquote medicinal properties to alcohol, although humans tend to consume it to excess. But the chimps may not actually consume it to the point where they're falling down on their face on a daily basis.
One was recorded drinking over 3 liters in one sitting. Come on, these are the guys who, if they get a peanut after masturbating, will literally masturbate themselves to death.
But how deep is the pool? I mean, come on.
Well, 3 liters is a shitload deep for me, buddy. I don't think I can put down 3
liters. That's a quick bender. We're not talking long sustained. So.
The wine sampled and ranged in strength, sitting at an average of around 3% alcohol by volume, comparable to a light beer, but rising to an impressive 7% by volume, meaning the primates were probably feeling fairly well oiled by the end of their drinking sessions.
At 3 liters, yeah.
They were drunk enough for scientists watching the apes to report that they displayed behavioral signs of inebriation. So, they're falling over and picking each other's butts. At least that's what dudes do.
Hey, see that chick over there?
hey, hold my beer.
Watch this. Hey, watch this. Famous last words.
That's right. Hey, y'all, hold my beer. Watch this.
Hey, watch this.
This gives the cheeky chimps plenty of time during the day to raid the bar. I mean, It's a fantastic article. Of course, it's at IFL Science. This just goes to show that apes in general like to imbibe, but from time to time, it doesn't make sense why humans would be any different. It's probably where we retained it from.
It's probably how we figured out that, hey, so our brains reverse engineered this pool of Pruno Spody or what have you, and like eventually got to the point where, hey, we could make this.
Yeah, hey, we could probably put this in a bottle and sell it for people, just like we did with morphine laced with little pieces of flannel. That's right. What do you call that, people? We call that 1800 science.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move along from this sucker on to the swimming jaguar. Just in case you thought it was a good idea to jump into the water to get away from that big spotted cat running after you in the jungle. Mind you, the deserts are different, the savannah's a different place than the jungle. If you're running from a spotted cat in the jungle, don't jump into the pool, because check this monster out. Yeah, you gonna go swimming after him? I don't think so.
Yeah, South America, you kind of have to, in the Amazonian jungle, do a little bit of swimming. You're none of the other big cats are going to do this. Whether it's a cougar is known to swim from island to island, but diving,
for food. Yeah,
this is a very special jaguar trait that they're not really going to share with anything else. And
they're nearly aquatic cats because they live in a place that drops 9 inches of rain a month.
Well, and at some point they're going to be stuck and have to get out. But also, there's a lot of food down there, and over the course of time, you're going to learn how to get at that food, and that's really amazing.
There's actually some footage out there of a jaguar mother teaching her little ones how to get into the water for food. So check it out there. This came off of Facebook. I don't remember where. I just thought it was neat. So there you have it. Hey, why do some people find Deepak Chopra's quote so deep and not shit? I don't know. Personally, I think the guy is just, he smoked even more than I have at this point.
This is yeah. So this is a great study, and they actually see if I can find the quote. The actual name of the study was on reception and detection of pseudo-profound bullshit. That they actually published a study, and not only was it probably really fun. I think that they said that there was like 240 instances of the words bullshit, but they latched on to this gentleman because basically what they were doing, they were taking important buzzwords for like spiritual buzzwords and putting them together in a sentence that flowed but made no sense whatsoever, and people were responding to them basically like, whoa, that's deep. No, it's complete nonsense, and they reacted exactly the same to this. And the other side of this is actually the fact that we keep bringing this up about the types of personalities that leap to conspiracy theories and all of these other things, whether it's aliens or portals or all of these other things. That mentality trait is the same mentality trait that allows you to be susceptible to this pseudo-profound bullshit.
Exactly.
And so a very, very good study, and it does apply. I'm sorry, it does in fact apply to mostly the woo crystal wearing aspects of Bigfootery.
Yay, crystal wearing woo factors. We're sorry, people. Anyhow, you can check that article out of Forbes.com. I actually read it. It was quite well put. That's for sure. Hey, did you know there were howls recorded in a valley in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park this year? I sure as hell didn't. I missed this report somehow off of the BFRO site. David, can you play that howl for us?
I can. I love fresh stuff, and this is. Well, what did you say? It was April? Was that the?
I think it was April. I'm looking for the exact date, but it was definitely early spring this year. Now, it was reported in March of 2015, around 11 p.m. at night. There had been sporadic sightings, sounds of tracks found near the park for decades. For me, I've heard these sounds myself in the Sierras. It's definitely not a mechanical sound. It would have gone off at specific intervals had it been mechanical. And it has an animal sound to it.
Yeah, even if it was something that was mechanical and people, somebody was manipulating it at not a regular time and speed, which basically you're looking at a hand crank siren at that point, which is not what that sounds like. And the fact that there's two at the end is
right,
like one over top of the other. It like pretty much rules that out. Not 100% out of the human vocal range, but that's kind of what we keep coming back to. Is it's probably not going to be out of. It's going to be within, possibly below, possibly above, but going to contain some of the human ranges. If if it's a large bipedal primate, which I'm assuming that we're all just going to go with that, you'd assume that it's going to have some of those same traits. And so anyway, interesting. Definitely sounds a lot like other things that we're used to hearing.
And from what the people were saying that were there live says that basically the howls all came from the same location. They were just being shouted in different directions until something finally howled back. And then when it howled back, they kind of howled back and forth, and then that was it. There was no more sounds the rest of the night because I guess Biggie got the answer that he wanted. I'm going to the bar! Screw you! Come home! Well, that's it. I got to go home, fellas. Boy. So you can check out that report at bfro.com. Howls recorded, and I'm sure I'm murdering the name, in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park. There you go. We always say the national parks or a national forest are a good place to go and check out. Hey, did you know that physicists proved that time travel is possible by sending particles of light into the past? Now, I thought that time travel couldn't send anything into the past. I thought that was the whole problem with it all.
Well, so if what they're showing is basically a hole in space-time in which you travel backwards around, wrap over on yourself, which is where paradox happens. And if somebody's actually doing this, they got to come up with the math first so that it doesn't rip our universe apart, or whatever that does. I'm still interested in looking more into this. I didn't do my due diligence on this one, but when they're talking about how relativity works and special relativity and all these other things, it's basically impossible. What you have to do is go into these quantum aspects, which are the unmeasurable, unexperienceable aspects. So how they did a study now to collect light then is really interesting to me. And I don't know how they have set this study up, and it seems impossible because there is no way to set up a study in the past.
The consequences of that could be disastrous. Doc, what do you mean? I foresee two possibilities. One, coming face to face with herself 30 years older would put her into shock and she'd simply pass out. Or two, the encounter could create a time paradox, the results of which could cause a chain reaction that would unravel the very fabric of the space-time continuum and destroy the entire universe.
So, yeah, you can check that. I'm sure it's there. Mysterious Universe says when Bigfoot speaks English. November 26th, this one was actually put out there. It's a video. They're talking about Ron Moorhead's collection of the vocalizations in the Sierras and how the work on is going on. They're trying to put an alphabet together with this thing, but somehow, somewhere, supposedly, these creatures are speaking English. If Biggie spoke English, I'm pretty sure by now he would have yelled at us in the Sierras to leave him the hell alone.
Go away.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm sorry. We don't need anyone to speak for us. Can you just go the hell away?
Yeah. Excuse me, old chap. It's time to move on.
Yeah, pardon me, son. We don't want to rip your arms off and beat you to death with them, but we will if we have to. So, if you wouldn't mind, please step the fuck off my dick.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to do with this one. I don't think they speak English, but I guess we'll find out if you want to go to Mysterious Universe. Check it out.
Check it out. I actually had the unique opportunity to listen to the Ron Moorhead audio prior to seeing any of the YouTube with the English words over top of it, where you can like, okay, I get that. But I didn't hear it before I read those words. So it's not English.
Right. Definitely not English, but we'll figure it out. Okay. Well, we were hoping that this was going to load, but probably not. The poor life of a orangutan sex slave. You heard me. Isn't that sad? Mr. Orangutan was held, or Ms. Orangutan was held captive so that dirty men could have sex with her. Seriously, what's wrong with you people?
There's a lot of things wrong with a lot of people. I actually was shocked probably 6 or 7 years ago to realize that up near the Canadian border, almost Twin Peaks style, there was actually an animal sex farm that was busted up.
Yay!
Yeah.
Come on in and see the donkey show. That's not what we're talking about, son.
No, you're in the donkey show in this one.
Come on in and meet Rex. He likes blonde.
And they have all sorts of manner of things, and that it's like I hate you people.
Yeah, just go to hell.
The more time goes on, the more misanthropic I become, and I just hate humanity.
Yeah, I love my family, but the rest of y'all suck.
Speaking of which,
speaking of hating freaking the rest of humanity, after everything else, after they've been shut down time and time again, after they promised last year that they would stop, well, Japan again stuns the world by announcing it'll resume whaling in the Antarctic Ocean despite the world ban on it. So 121 countries got together and said, it's probably just a bad idea for us to be killing these large intelligent mammals in the Antarctic Ocean anymore. So the world as a whole is going to agree to stop doing this. And Japan just gave everyone the middle finger and said, we're going to do it for research purposes. No, you're going to do it because there's wealthy freaking Japanese people that like to eat the meat.
Yeah, and the whole thing is absolutely asinine. The four, what haven't they learned? It's
these creatures have the largest brains on the planet.
It's like the Simpsons quote where they're abducted by aliens. It's like, well, are you going to anal probe me? Like, no, we've gone as far as we can with our knowledge to be gained from anal probing. Like, how many whales have they dissected? What do they not know about every piece of this creature?
Tens of thousands of whales have been murdered by Japanese killers.
You need to reevaluate your science and your method here somehow.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Just the tiniest freaking bit,
Or maybe if you stopped butchering them, you could get the data you needed. Just saying. But it also opens up the door for a new season of Sea Shepherds on Discovery Channel.
Yeah, exactly. So, we're going to be back on the hunt to try and catch these bastards and shut them down once again. Sad things. And, as a lot of people have heard me say lately, fuck Japan. And next thing up, we're going to be talking about is this poor bastard. Hey, what does the mystery house in Oregon and the vortex have to do with Bigfoot research?
Still cameras only.
Well, apparently, the mystery house is only open from March 1st to October 31st, and lo and behold, that just happens to go right and coincide with Matthew Johnson's Portal Gate. What the hell? Matthew Johnson says, well, the Oregon Vortex House of Mystery is closed from November through February. Therefore, we're unable to open the residual energy necessary from the vortex in order to open up the portal. we'll try again next March. What the actual fuck, dude? I'm sorry to be dropping it, but what is going on here, dude? Seriously, now all of a sudden, this friggin' tourist trap of a bullcrap place that's been debunked 1,000,000 times is in control of the portal at Soha?
It's almost as if he wants it to be a joke. like, oh, hey, everybody make fun of me because it actually, we're talking about him and it gives him, gives him clout. But he chose a legit fun house. A mystery house. It's like, oh, well, people can just change positions and they grow larger and smaller. No, it's a force aspect, and it's in a room. And people that have been in there know what this place is. It's in Oregon. Somebody needs to go there.
Factor faked an entire segment on how it's all bullshit.
And the house is set up to not to trick people, but to be fun. And you take fun images, and it's a fun place to go. It's a fun house. It's a fun house.
It's a fun house. Well, apparently this fun house now is in control of Dr. Johnson's fun. And, so he's no longer going to go up to Soha until March when that reopens. In other words, it's probably going to snow too much for him to be up there and too cold. So now he has a reason not to go there between November and February.
Address, the Oregon Vortex.
That's right. At Sardine Creek, Left Fork Road in Gold Hill, Oregon. Now, what that address would have to do with a portal near the Oregon caves, I don't exactly know. Some people out there, I'll admit it, are smarter than I am. If y'all can figure this out, just make a good connection somewhere. I'll even bring you on the air so you can let you explain it to us.
I think this would be a great road trip. So we'll have to open up that can of worms later.
Yeah, that might be the Squatchcation next year. We'll actually have to see about that one. Hey, we got some really good spots from our friends, so let's go ahead and get those suckers run. We're going to hear our quasi lesson from Mr. Dean Cooper. And now, quasi theories from a quasi scientist with your host, Dean Cooper.
3 episodes ago, Reverend Jeff and Dr. Batdorf discussed the wood woes of Europe. I haven't had the opportunity to re-watch the episode, but I seem to recall that they made brief reference to the wood woes being sometimes associated with the artistic motif called the Green Man. Others have also made the association. I doubt that this is so, at least not for the earliest known Green Man depictions, which are mainly from ancient Greece. There, the Green Man is a depiction of the Greek god Dionysus, known in Latin as Dionysius and Bacchus, the god of grapes, wine, wheat, and bread, lord of the spring burst of green growth as well as the fall harvest. He is also the god of forests and wild places. In his form as Pan, he induced panic in those of his worshippers who went to the forest to worship. Panic not being fearful lunacy, but back then, the ecstatic state induced by the worship of Pan Dionysus. Why am I, as a quasi-scientist, bringing this up? Well, because the Greek mystery cult of Dionysus is closely tied to the Greek philosophers. It is probably the oldest of the ancient mystery cults of Greece. Plato frequently said in his dialogues that those who have been initiated into the mysteries will understand what he is saying. And the Greek philosophers gave us the basis for modern science. Modern science is therefore based on the mysteries of the Green Man. All hail Pan Dionysus, founder of the modern world. You may read the text of this hypothesis on my blog, My Blatherings, at bydean.com. That's BHAIDIN.com. Thank you.
Very nice.
There you have it. Very, very deep thoughts about the Green Man. Hey, it's time for a little bit of enlightenment from our old pal Wes in just a moment or two. Unfortunately for me, my soundboard just crashed right in the middle of wanting to play that. Right just frigging then, the soundboard said, nah, I don't want you to play me. Not whatsoever. Hi! So we'll give it just a moment to load again, and we'll get that one playing. I can't believe it closed right in the middle of that. There you go. A little bit of enlightenment for our fans.
And now,
seeking enlightenment with your old pal Wes. Brought to you by WesLosner.com.
Stop making we plans with I-minded people. If they don't want fucking sausage and pepperoni, fuck them. They can order their own pizza.
Well, there you go, folks. Stop making plans with I-minded people. I kind of agree with that. You know, screw them. They don't want sausage and pepperoni on their pizza. You can order that friggin' spinach and white pizza on your own, man. What are you thinking?
I prefer the sriracha pizza that I got going on. Anyway, the volcano. Right. But yeah, so I am all for that concept actually, and the more I try to plan Sasquatchy things, the less I do because of that exactly. So thank you, Wes. Thank you.
Exactly. So what I've got coming up now, we're going to be talking about Bigfoot captured at Mono Lake, California. Now, originally, the way this footage came to the Bigfoot world was this family went on vacation. They took some pictures of their family. They took some pictures of some video of the lake. They took some pictures of blah. They took some video of this. They took some video of that. And in one of these clips, all of a sudden, something becomes evident that there is a creature or something in the video. So all of a sudden, it comes out to the world. And this is pretty much the best view of what it is. And this is going to be from Para Breakdown's channel. Here's the footage here, the original footage. This is what we got. You know, we got 8 seconds. Yeah, we got about 8 seconds of a large, upright, dark-colored figure, figure, moving along those rocks. There's no doubt that whatever that is moving on 2 feet. Am I correct?
You would be correct in that assumption.
I mean, it's got stupidly long arms, though. Something isn't... Is it carrying something? You see that? It just looks like a really seriously long friggin' arm, almost like an elephant trunk. I don't know. Is this Bigfoot? Well, of course, our buddy Para Breakdown took a little look at it, and he's really got in close on this digitized portion of a VHS tape from a degraded copy of an online Monster Quest.
And 5 people have grabbed it from YouTube at 360p to 360p. Right. It's like, could it get any worse?
And, you know, this is what it's been cleaned up to be, you know, and there's definitely a bipedal creature, but that arm there, is it carrying a club? Right there. Let's make it a little bit bigger. There, right there. You see that friggin' thing right there? That's just too friggin' long.
Yeah. Well, that's, yeah. I mean, and like, we're boom, there it is. That was the 352. They did go the other direction, though. You know, from right to left, which yes, I'll give kudos for, but this really does look like a set shot.
Right. So the question then becomes, okay, because these people never saw it, they never made comment to it, nobody ever saw this in the video. It wasn't until much later that they go, oh, we've got a Bigfoot video, we got to get this out to the world, and all of a sudden, you know, producers are interested in it.
Yeah, well, that happens. You have to remember, this came out in the height of the Bigfoot mania.
Right, Monster Quest had its very own episode dedicated to just the Mono Lake footage and all of the stuff that went into it, the analyzation and everything else that was going on there. You know, but if I were there live, you know, let's look at this as an encounter for a moment. You know, if I'm actually there, and this thing goes walking into those rocks towards the waterway that way, I don't know that I'm chasing in after it. How about you?
Yeah, maybe not. Like, just for a moment, if that were very large, it were dark, it were hairy, if they had somehow noticed it right there, like in front of them, like in the middle of the camera frame, if they had noticed a gigantic hairy ape man right in front of them in the middle of the fucking camera, which you would tend to notice. But if you had, but also, then why do we only have this 8 seconds of footage? Would you like the excuse is, well, we didn't notice it until later. But if you had noticed it, wouldn't you at least wait to see where it went? I mean, you could be moving off, moving back, keeping your camera trained on the area. Oh, maybe it's going to not stay there for the rest of eternity.
Now, I will say this about the footage is it was the only piece of footage on that tape. And at the time that this was done, it was done on a VHS tape. So whatever was recorded directly before it and whatever was recorded directly after it, whoever got this section of it off of that tape definitely had access to those other two pieces and would have known if it was a direct setup or if they took multiple takes of it or something else was just too horrible. So this seems to be, if it was a setup that way by the people taking the video, that that they only did one take of it. However, I'm wondering if somebody didn't prank them. This hillbilly and his boys are sitting up there in the rocks and they're laughing, and there's probably a reverse tape of these jackasses, but they never notice them. So these guys get all that, oh, it didn't work.
Exactly. It's like, oh, almost had him. Well, yeah, I you don't know. Like the only thing I know is that this rocky outcropping on the edge of a lake. Yeah, I don't know what the surrounding area is really like, but this is not where I would expect to see Bigfoot.
This is the episode, you've seen this one, this is the episode where Dr. Meldrum and the tracker go back to this location, and the water levels are so low that they can't line up anything the way that it was, and then Meldrum takes his shoes off and goes walking around the places, and the tracker supposedly tracks him step for step. Oh, this is where he sat down and put his shoes on. Yeah, really? Is that where all the disturbance really is? Imagine that. I think a 5-year-old can pick that part out. But, whatever, dude. They're just trying to make good TV. And, I know how hard that is now. So I probably stopped giving them such a damn hard time about it. But neither here nor there. If I would have seen this thing, I don't know that I'm following it down into the rocks. Because if it is real, I don't want to get eaten.
And it's a really wide open, like... For me, I feel like, the forest gives you at least a little bit of sense of security, that there's some, there's things to hide behind, jump over, jump under, jump around, jump through. But this is a wide open field, and it looks like a highly traversed trail right down to the water's edge. Possibly highly traversed enough to where there might be people down there too.
Right.
So this one for me always is just screamed that it's so much more likely that this is a person, no matter how it looks, that I can't go anywhere else with it. There's never been any audio. We've never seen the before and the after footage. I don't know. Not loving this one for me.
The only audio, there is audio on the footage, but the only thing the audio you can hear is the wind blowing. There's no voices, there's no nothing. The audio actually plays with the clip, but there's just, you get 8 seconds of this thing walking by, and then they have other footage. Like I said, it ran on the show to where it just never came back out again, so they stopped playing the video. It's just creepy what that long damn arm is. I don't know what that long arm is. It bothers me. Is he carrying another Bigfoot's arm? Has he been watching Bigfoot Entertainment Weekly? I don't know what that long arm is, and it kind of freaks me out. But a lot of people think that this one is real.
I understand what they're looking at for. But for me, I'm a bigger picture guy. I'm the habitat guy. I'm the plausibility guy. And it just, none of that is there for me in this. Even if it were a Bigfoot, you're fighting an uphill battle with this one. So I just got to let it go.
Well, let's take a look at Mono Lake, California on the map. And that'll give us an idea of what the surrounding areas of that actually look like. Because where you are, there's Mono City, there's Mono Lake. You're right in the middle of Bay Area Sierras. You're due east of San Francisco in the Sierras wrapped up around Mono Lake. And I have not a fear in the world that Sasquatch would probably be in those areas, but probably not that far east. Your lush areas are definitely much more west
on the west
than Mono
side.
Lake.
But not that is not to say that, you know, there's not resources that are going to be available there, and there might be reason to go there. But for me, it looks more like it's probably
the food's over here.
Yeah, that there's a lot more to be had over there for a primate, say eating greenery and drinking water. There's a lake, but a lake's not always your best option.
Right. I mean, there's plenty of other water that's not out directly in the open for you to get eaten or shot at or seen by humans that would probably not be the greatest place to go. Now, Mono Lake right now is probably much lower than what this is. This is probably taken, 2 years ago now. I think they're updated like every 24 months.
Actually, it'd be interesting if you see that the road, and I bet you could find a reasonable point of access that looks somewhat similar, like those rocky outcropping areas there, and it would be probably what we're looking at. And this is not where I would expect to see the Sam Squanch, if you will. Well, yeah, like right around in there.
Right. Those look like exactly those kind of rocky outcroppings that we're looking at. Why would a Bigfoot be hanging out around here?
Like I said, there could be a reason, but I'm not. I'm still not sold on this one.
Yeah, so taking it as an encounter, if you see that thing running, I guess we're going to go run after it and find out who's in the costume. I'm going to beat your ass!
Yeah, well, I've been a huge proponent. Like, there's a lot of people who know that I'm into this topic, and if I'm pretty sure that I'm in a Sasquatch-free zone, I am going to chase it down and beat the crap out of it.
That's right. We got enough hoaxing going on. We don't need help from you people outside. That's
exactly.
for sure.
Even if it's a buddy of mine in an ape suit, I don't know who it is till they take the.
I got away with it, but it wasn't for you meddling doctors.
Exactly.
Do the Scooby-Doo adventure of the Squatchcation. But so now you've got an idea of where exactly Mono Lake is, because the shows don't really give you where they actually are. That's Yosemite area. There's Yosemite National Park right in front of it. There's a chance that they might go over there for some reason, but I see them hanging out on the western side of the Sierras a whole lot more than on the eastern side, because that's where all the other animals hang out, is on the western side of the Sierras. It's not as rocky.
Well, reptiles, for sure, on the other side.
Right. The aliens are, they're done anal probing us, so now they're just eating us. But, I mean, that's basically what you're looking at, is the rocky outcropping sides of the Sierras down there at Mono Lake. So for me, I'm going to have to kind of give it a thumbs down on being a real encounter, but being an interesting one at a time that, the Sasquatch topic was so huge. I kind of see why they followed it along.
Yeah. I was surprised when Monster Quest went down that road. They made an interesting show about it, and then to hear it was one of those that I think it was Facebook Find Bigfoot confirmed them like 20 points. And I was like,
rise, pause, fall. Rise, pause, fall.
Rise, pause. No, long arm, slow to the nape of the neck,
pointed head,
brow ridge, pointed head.
Somebody gave me $20 on YouTube to say that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, and I forgot to say, Richard Allen thinks Johnson's a cunt.
And it is true. And if you haven't figured that, if you're in the Squatchers Lounge and you haven't figured that out yet, I can't help you.
Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with him more and more these days. I hear merchants all in an uproar now in with that whole woo crowd, and it's just like, yeah, somebody accepted you into their crowd, and now you're gonna throw a tantrum. Imagine that. I don't even care. Merchant who? I don't know. The whole community is self-imploding because there isn't anything new to turn their concentrations to. We're concentrating on doing the podcast and bringing entertaining shows and topics to you guys, while those people worry about what we're doing. So, as far as I'm concerned, we're having a good time. David, what are you thinking, man?
I'm thinking that's the only reason that we still do this is because we have a good time. And
That's
if we stop having a good time, we probably won't do this.
When it becomes work, I'm going to stop. But for right now, we saying, screw it. We're having fun.
We're having fun.
Please stop watching.
If you like to watch, that's good. If you hate to watch because you hate us, that's good too. I mean, if that's your thing, go for it.
That's right. You want to watch more shows, click the thumbs up. The more thumbs up we have, the more shows we'll actually put out on the air. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Squatchers Lounge podcast. Look at that, David. 45 minutes in the can already. I know we were a couple minutes late, but we don't really care. Next week, we're going to be talking about something. I don't know exactly what it is. Next week is going to probably end up being another cryptid around the world. We got to get back into the swing of things. So we're going to find us a new cryptid around the world, and that's what we'll talk about next week. If you have any suggestions, visit us at facebook.com/groups/SLounge. Join the group and put in there for a topic discussion. Why don't you guys talk about this guy? And we'll think about it.
Exactly. And we'll probably just do it because then we don't have to think of a topic.
Exactly. We love when our friends give us reasons not to go out and search the internet for Bigfoot topics. Well, that's going to do it for us. Join the blog at squatchitall.blogspot.com. Don't forget the YouTube channel at youtube.com/SLoungePodcast. Click the subscribe button. Click the share button on the videos. Click the thumbs up. Leave a comment so we can share this with the world. I want to thank y'all for listening. For Dr. David Batdorf, pseudo-scientists, I'm the Reverend Jeff. We want to say thanks for listening. And may the Squatch be with you. Now I have to wait for this stupid thing to open again because it crashed.
You should never update before. No updates before showtime.
I know, no more updates before. I updated it yesterday, just started this crap today, but may the Squatch be with y'all, and happy holidays, y'all. I think it's like Chanukah or something right about now. First week of December is usually about it's 8 crazy nights. I don't know. Well, y'all Jewish people out there have a wonderful Hanukkah, and we'll be waiting for Christmas later on.
And then Festivus for the rest of us.
Festivus for the rest of us. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Festivus. Happy naked dancing dude, because I know y'all are out there. Happy woo woo. Down and out on the woo train.
Chicka hoo hoo.
The vortex is closed. Can't go to Soha because the vortex is closed.
The vortex has a website.